Welcome to The Link this week, and we hope businesses are struggling and kind of surviving in this COVID environment. And we're here to add information COVID tailored to help you make some decisions in business. We are happy you join us every week, and if you miss our conversations live or you want to go back to them, you can go to YouTube, our YouTube channel for youtube.com/NTV Uganda, and search for NTV The Link. Tonight we're discussing tourism, one of the sectors that has been hit hardest, but we think there is hope. And my guest tonight is Abias Rwamwiri from African Wildlife Exploration. He has worked in conservation before with African Wildlife Foundation, and he's now a real player in the tourism sector. Abias, welcome.
Thank you, Samuel, and the viewers.
Our minutes are not many, so the first question. We have been locked for more than 3 months, 90 days or thereabout, and the airport closed, and tourism hit hard. People saying it is ground to a halt. Does anyone, and I mean tourists here, does anyone want to come to Uganda anymore?
If we, thank you, Samuel, and the viewers. To direct your question, if we demonstrate to the travelers that we are ready, they are ready to come. If we have the airport open,
okay.
If we convince to them that we are safe, as we are, because we have a record of the lowest number of active cases in the region, we have 0 deaths from corona-related deaths.
Yeah.
If we bring that information to their attention and we show them how prepared we are, because it's not going to be business as usual, they are ready to come.
Who wants to come?
The travelers that come, that book safaris to Africa, the business investors that are rooting to invest their money in Uganda,
okay,
they are willing to come. Now you need to know, and the the audience need to know that we have tourism has three different target markets. We have the budget travelers, we have the mid-range travelers, and the luxury travelers. What segments them is how sensitive they are to budget.
Okay.
The budget travelers, are looking for the lowest ways to travel, and these are guys who save a year, 2, 3 to save to travel to Africa. Most of those have lost their jobs, so those are we are likely to see a decline in number of the backpackers. They need to first get their jobs back and start saving. The mid-range are guys like me, you and me, who earn a salary. Some of them have lost jobs, and those are also going to be affected a bit. They are somehow price sensitive. We see them trying to travel in the first quarter of the year locally, so they are going to travel within their countries or within their regions. If they are Europeans, they might want to think of the next immediate destination. Okay. But we have the luxury travelers. These guys, they have the money. They are only willing. They are only waiting for us to say we are open and it is safe. They will travel. And Uganda has a high number of attracts a high number of those because we are not a cheap destination. Yeah. To travel here, you need about between 400, 600 per day expenditure.
US dollars.
US dollars. That includes your gorilla permit, chimpanzee permit, accommodation, and transport. So that is the market that has been coming here. We just need to reach out to them, give them the confidence that Uganda is safe and ready for you. So
you, by conclusion, I'm going to say if the airport opens, we're going to see them now. If they are coming, and I won't take your word for it, it can't be business as usual for you guys. The tour operator, the driver, the lodge. It can't be business as usual. What is it going to be different when these guys come around? Because COVID has been here.
Somewhere, what COVID has done, it has turned every sector upside down.
Yes.
And anyone in tourism, any business, agriculture, it's not going to be business as usual. But to your question, what do we need to do as an industry? Yeah. We start on the policy. If we're going to open the airport, what measures are we putting in place that's going to convince someone it's actually safe to travel to Uganda, quarantine is not going to be one of them. Knowing that other countries, our neighbors that we compete with, are saying as long as you bring a certificate from a recognized testing laboratory or point that you've tested 72 hours ago before arrival and you are negative, we're going to allow you to come and enjoy our country.
Yeah.
For us, if we open and asking our travelers to come and be quarantined for 14 days when they are coming to have an 8-day safari in Uganda, that's
counterproductive.
It's going to be counterproductive. We should follow suit or say you either bring a certificate that shows you've been tested for 48, 72 hours before you arrive, but also say we are going to test you. As we've been testing on the border points, the truck drivers, the government can choose to put that testing fee on the visa.
Yeah.
And these guys are coming here to spend, and they have no problem spending an extra $60 to have them tested rapidly and don't have them wait in the airport. Pick their samples, we can submit their itinerary, we drive them to their hotel, be in the room as we wait for 3-6 hours to have the results back. But also the hotel, we have our partner Rogers must do things differently.
Okay.
It's not about putting on the mask. It's not about putting on gloves. We must think of personalized handling. We must look at having staff, a smaller number of staff attached to the traveler. It's not this business where you have 20 staff, waiters, all of them serving one table. You must attach a butler. We must think of butler services where you have this guy that is allocated to you, is the one who makes sure that your room is taken care of, is the one who serves your table, takes your orders, he's the one who checks you in and out. What that hopes is that this guy is not overwhelmed by so many people
social distancing,
social distancing, overwhelmed, but also in case there is a flip and one of our travelers brings in a virus, we know who got in contact with him, and we can easily follow up.
Easy to manage.
The other key thing is going to be us. If I'm going to, how am I preparing my vehicles? The park service has already said we are going to cut down on the number of the groups that go on the boats. So if you are a ground handler that has been taking care of the groups, we are not. The idea is not to stop them, but you have to split those groups on arrival. Let someone go to Queen Elizabeth where others are in Machon, and they can have the same experience, but in smaller groups for social distancing.
So it's going to be smaller numbers.
Small numbers is what is going to be very key, and that's what the new normal is. We need to distance.
Okay, very nice. So we have seen the vehicles. You must be cognizant of smaller groups. The lodges, small people, not small people, a few people handling guests for social distancing purposes. Let's move to domestic tourism as one that shows up, has been proposed. Is it a viable option? Some operators think that, domestic guys bring little money. Is it a viable option, especially now?
Domestic tourism has sustained travel when there has been a crisis in Africa. When Kenya was affected by Al-Shabaab bombings and kidnaps around the coastal areas, Europe and North America shunned Kenya, but they survived. Their lodges kept running because they put up attractive packages for domestic travels. It's very tempting when you've been getting some big volumes of dollars to think of cutting down, because this is not the new norm. This is the new normal.
It's a new normal, yes.
The June, end of September, we are supposed to be enjoying high volumes.
Peak season.
Yeah. But the lodges and hotels are empty. So if you are a lodge operator, a hotel operator, this is not the time when you're thinking of keeping your rack and net rates. You must put attractive packages. If you've been charging $200, put it at $50 and let the numbers, let locals feel those lodges. And this is the time now it's an opportunity for the Uganda travel stakeholders to attract Ugandans, to rally them to appreciate the beautiful Uganda we have.
Yeah.
And that's the only way Ugandans are going to start advocating for conservation. Because if you've never seen a giraffe, why would you care when someone
absolutely, I don't
raise a snare to kill it, to poach it? But when you've been to Machon and see how beautiful these elegant creatures are, you will care when poachers are targeting them.
So these guys have to use opportunity to convert. And I was converted one day. I went to National Park once and I was converted. So local operators, it's your turn, it's your opportunity to convert us. So I'm converted already, but other people. So that even after you go back to $200, they will come, because tourism is experiential. So for those in the sector, there is still hope. Once the airport opens, people are going to come. Question, are you ready? That was the link tonight. Thank you for joining us.